Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna be showing you how to carry on Amumu in the jungle here in season 12. He's a solid pick for iron through gold. After gold, I wouldn't really recommend him because there are much better tank junglers that can do his job more consistently and a lot more easily. Those junglers would be things like Nunu and Zac. So for your runes on Amumu, you're gonna want to go for Conqueror instead of Aftershock at the moment with Triumph, Tenacity, Last Stand, Cheap Shot with Ultimate Hunter. Ultimate Hunter plays really well on Amumu since he's a massively reliant on his R. And then we have attack speed, AP, and armor. You can solo start on Raps or Wolves. If you want a leash, obviously start on a buff. You're going to want to generally start with your W. If you're going to start on a solo camp, if you're going to start on a multi-target monster camp, start E. Because every time you're hit, it puts your E on a lower cooldown. Here we're getting a leash from the Aatrox. I don't know why he's not using his Qs. But the main thing you need to know about Amumu is to avoid 1v1s, and that's why we actually have Ignite. It helps you out a lot when people are trying to be aggressive with you, and it gives you that extra bit of true damage and heal cut that you need, since Amumu doesn't generally get heal cut early in his builds. You want to pretty much always do a full clear on Amumu. If you're ganking at level 3, there's a good chance you're going to be delaying your level 6. So unless it's a very obvious free gank where the enemy's overshoved and they look very killable, just don't go for it. It's not going to be worth it. Amumu starts to shine once he is level 6, so don't get yourself killed. Hit level 6 on time. You want to try to gank lanes that can't dodge your Q, because if your Q misses or if they juke it, you really don't have a gank at all. So Kata is going to be a challenging lane to gank. Top lane should be easy. Warwick shouldn't really be able to escape our Q. Bot lane should be easy as well if we go for the Vigar. The top lane's probably the easiest. So between camps, you can hop over with your Q to get there sooner. Try to put it on the large monster so you can clear the camp faster. One of our Q charges is already on cooldown, so we don't really need to use the other one. We're still utilizing our cooldowns. We'll hop right over, auto attack E. Take these at the same time, pop our other refill. You want to try to path away from where you think the enemy jungler is going to be, especially in the early game, because you can't solo them, and if they invade you, it's going to put you behind. There's really no jungler Amumu can solo in his first clear, assuming they're equal HP to you or more. So we path away from where she's going to be. 9 out of 10 times junglers will start with their bot lane for the best leash possible, and then they'll just full clear towards top side. It's very rare that junglers don't do that, especially iron through platinum. It's realistically 19 out of 20 times. They'll just start bot side, clear up, and that's when you're likely to get killed on your top camps, which is why we're starting opposite to that and clearing away from. On your first back, getting a dark seal is really nice. You should also look to pick up boots and a control ward. Going for the ruby crystals isn't very helpful. The only thing it's going to help you with is diving. So if you intend on doing dives, which I wouldn't recommend for iron through golds generally, you really shouldn't be taking ruby. Dark Soul will be giving you a lot of good damage. Gives you a little bit of HP as well. It's also going to encourage you not to do dumb stuff. So Aatrox is walking back to lane. We can assume Warwick will be walking back to lane too. Therefore, after this camp, we will be looking to gank him. And since Aatrox is dead, we can assume Warwick's flash is probably on cooldown. It's good to play with mute all as jungle, because most of the callouts your teammates make are not helpful, and oftentimes you will be antagonized and you won't have a chance to build up a proper thought process because you're just in a constant state of PTSD worrying about getting flamed. Alright, yeah, we'll look for this. Pop oracles. It's not worded, that's good. He's playing really far back even though he's a kill up. I'm gonna walk in on this guy. I don't want to get feared by him, so we're gonna hit him with our ignite and walk him down. Hit him with second Q. Having ignite is really nice. It's also a lower cooldown than flash, so you'll get to use it a bit more often. After successful ganks, try to stay to shove the wave with your teammate. It'll help your teammate reset and spend their gold and get their HP back if they're low, and if they're not low, you can help them take a turret plate. The beauty of this is you both get the majority of the total XP from the minions. Just try to make sure you give your teammates the last hits so they don't fall behind in gold. The enemies will be losing so much XP by you crashing the wave that they'll still be giga far behind in XP compared to your teammate, even though you shared XP. Only try to do that with successful ganks, though. You don't want to just randomly show up and start stealing XP for no reason. That's a good way to antagonize your teammates and to get Giga Flamed. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Katarina's chilling on her turret. This isn't very gankable because she does have multiple dashes, blinks in her kit. So even if somebody's low, if they're Giga Mobile, like a LeBlanc or Kata, would not recommend it. We're going to stick to ganking probably just Warwick, to be honest. Because even the Vigard can be kind of hard because of his cage. We can't walk through it. If we Q through it, I believe it does stun us out of the air, even though our stun will still hit him. It'll be hard for my teammates and for myself to follow up after. So I'll only gank bot if they're shoved up really far. And as it is, it doesn't seem like they're playing like that. Looks like Samir's, in fact, the one bullying them. We're almost level 6, so we don't want to recall. Even though our jungle is resetting, we don't have any camps up, and it would seem like, oh, I should recall and spend my gold here. In fact, wrong. We see here we're almost level 6, so we want to stick around, try to use our R. Amumu has one of the best ultimates in the game, good damage, and a huge CC, so we want to get value out of that. I'm full HP, plus I have boots. You don't particularly want to be trying to invade the enemy jungler, though, unless you have really good information and you know you're going to win that fight. So we see Katarina's come in. We'll ping it out. I'm not going to have time to kill the big one, so I'll just kill the medium one. Yeah, so here we go. This is a counter gank. Didn't want to show too early. We get off the stun. E. We're going to have another Q here. Yeah, you see how the cage stops us in midair? That's a really bad interaction for Amumu. You don't have much counterplay on that. You don't want to throw out your Qs too early. If you know someone has a dash and you know they haven't used it yet, just hold on to it and walk them down. They'll panic or they'll feel the pressure and they'll use their dash eventually. We'll pop her with our R. Down she goes. Got her with the Q. Got her with red buff slow on our auto. Veigar is moving fast. All right, we need to reset. We're really low mana. You get mana back really fast as a jungler through your jungle item, whether you've absorbed it yet or not, as long as you're in the jungle or river areas. After you smite 5 times, your champion will absorb it deep into a cavity deep inside. So you can look forward to that. Against their team, it really is looking more like a Merc Treads type of game. I'm going to sell a refill. I don't recommend generally getting tier 2 boots on Amumu before you are Sunfire Aegis. Sunfire Aegis gives him a tremendous amount of damage and tankiness. So if you're consistently getting tier 2 boots pre-Sunfire, right when you make that investment into tier 2 boots, if all of a sudden your ganks aren't panning out, you're left stranded for a very long time just not having damage. Our red buff's gone. What the heck? It looks like Warwick took it. Ultimate's on cooldown. We don't need to force anything big here. We're just going to look around the map while we're farming, and whenever our E's up, we'll press it. It's that simple. You can just click around. You can use F keys. You can even use your arrow key, directional arrow keys if you want. Some people do that. Wouldn't recommend it. I prefer clicking on minimap or using F keys. Katarina, most likely their jungler's going to show up here to try to help her. They won't be able to do anything though because that's full HP and Katarina's almost dead. I'm not going to bother going mid because Katarina has multiple dashes. She's got a blink. And then if she picks up her dagger, she gets another blink. So I'm not going to bother. E max into Q max. Max W last always. W per level gets almost nothing. E gets lower cooldown and way more damage and damage reduction. So per level, the value's just way higher on E. And then Q. It's almost worth to max Q first. The problem is, or not the problem, but the thing is you can already have 2 charges of it to where you only really need your Q twice in a fight or a gank anyways. And even if you max it first, it's hard to get it off more than twice because just how it functions. So your E, on the other hand, you can use it many times in a fight, especially if you're being focused by people or minions. Puts it on a much lower cooldown whenever you're getting hit by auto attacks. Their jungler's mid. It's a great time to take dragon. I wouldn't recommend raw starting dragon like this unless you have a steep advantage. If it's a close game, you should definitely wait until you get a kill in the area and then start it. We only did this because we're very fed. Me and my bot lane to where even if they all did show up, I have my R, we would trash them. Oh, Diana sees us. This is bad. She's probably spam pinging right now. Bopping with our Q into R. Notice how we're staggering our CC. We'll ignite her. We're tanking the turret. Let our teammates walk out. We could have taken another shot. So when you hit someone with a hard CC or CC in general, you don't want to overstack it. It doesn't do anything extra. So if you already have them stunned for a second and then you immediately stun them with your next CC, it's wasted. It doesn't stack like that. So you want to wait till your initial CC is almost completely done, and then you bop them with the next one to maximize how long they can't do anything for. So in a perfect world on Amumu, you'll always hit them with R first because it's not a skill shot. They can't juke it, flash it, dodge it, whatever. What ends up happening though is people run away from you. So if they're giga juking, like because they're scared to get queued, then you just run them down, bop them with R, like blue smite R into them. Blue smite slows and speeds you up. But generally what's going to happen is you'll get as close as you can. And if you're still not within range to R, then you'll have to Q and risk missing it. And then your Q will put you right on top. You move, you have your W on, you hit them with an E auto attack, you bop them with R right as they're coming out of the Q stun. That's the general thought process there. Just try not to go for big solos on Amumu. There's not a single jungler in the game that you can consistently solo, particularly in the early game. You just shouldn't be looking for that. If you want to do that, try Warwick or something like Xin Zhao Diana. Those would be much better options. Amumu is strictly for ganking and team fighting, not split pushing, not soloing. And yeah, playing AP Amumu, it might be fun, but it's pretty terrible. It's really bad. Comparing it, everything's within comparison. Comparing it to something like an Echo or Fizz, it's absolute. Playing AP Amumu is absolutely terrible. But it is fun. Main thing is his AP scalings aren't quite high enough on his W, his E, and even his R. It's not very tremendous. Only 80% scaling is really not that great. There's plenty of AP abilities that have 100% scaling, so it's just not quite worth it. If they gave his E 80% AP scaling, it would be worth, but his E's a little on the lower side. And on top of that, you have so much percent base AoE damage on your W that just staying alive a little bit longer, you'll inherently be doing way more damage on tank Amumu than AP Amumu. Once again, that is because his AP scaling on his W is horrendous. This game seems to be relatively wrapped up. I don't even see anyone on the map. Our R is currently up, so we want to look for something before we recall. You see Diana's over here, we'll ping it out. Teammates aren't really interested. We'll bop into her. Alright, we have a dive here. We'll walk in, blue smite R her. Her spell shield's on cooldown. She comes out, we hit her with Q, down she goes. Notice how I didn't immediately use my CC. You want to put pressure on them and they'll panic and make a mistake. Whenever it comes to situations, like who flinches first, the person under more pressure is going to flinch first. And she's getting dove. There's 3 of us. All we have to do is stay calm, walk into melee range, and she's going to panic and waste spell shield. That being said, she had already used it against the Maokai before she saw me. Oh, wow, that didn't cancel her recall. Rip. Thought Maokai Q did. If they surrender, or if we end the game pre-25 minutes, we'll go ahead and do a part 2. This has been relatively smooth. So we have full map control. And my teammates are fed, so we could go for a raw Herald here. With Herald in Dragons, you never ever want to take them raw like this while all the enemies are alive. Unless you have some kind of steep advantage. Generally, you'd want to get a kill or successful gank first, or see them elsewhere on the map to where you know they can't get to you in time. But since we have a steep advantage and full map control as a team, this is a wonderful opportunity to take this. Ultimately, kills in League are only to enable you to take objectives safely. That's all kills do. Because you could have most kills in the game. You die once, you give the enemies 1,000 gold. That's why kills don't mean much. Kills are only a tool to enable taking objectives. Because if you get 5 dragons, if they kill you, they don't get a dragon. That's not how it works. That's why objectives are broken. You could have every objective in the game, all 4 dragons, 2 elders, and a baron. If they kill you, they don't get a dragon buff or a baron buff. No. You still have that steep advantage indefinitely. I feel like they should maybe change that. Kind of change dragon buffs and baron buffs to maybe interact like how red buff, blue buffs interact, where if you kill the enemy, you get it. It's only blue buffs and red buffs that act that way. We need to reset, spend our gold. We'll go for dragon here in a moment. Whenever you are ganking, it's best to triple ping. I don't think I've been doing it this game just because my teammates have been reacting so well. But when you are ganking, yeah, they quit. So we didn't even get to buy our items. You just go Sunfire into Demonic into Thornmail. All right, we'll go ahead and do a part 2. I'll see you guys there. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to part 2. It's the same thing. We want to path away from the enemy jungler. Most likely Trundle's going to start bot side, look for an invade, or just path into our initial gank. So we want to start top side and path down. I let my teammates know, and then I muted them all. I actually forgot to start with a refill. That's kind of funny. We'll get our ward down. That's to give ourselves some insurances. If your teammates refuse to leash you, you can solo start wolves or raptors depending on what side you should be starting on. We still took ignite. This game, it's perfect. Our team has way too many ignites, but it's fine because the enemy team has a Soraka heavy healing, plus the Vladimir heavy healing. Even Trundle has heavy healing off his R, and then GP as well. So I feel like ignite should be solved this game. Once again, we're going to start W against a single target monster camp. You start E if you're going to solo start wolves or raps. They put, every time you get auto attacked, it puts your E on a lower cooldown, so it's not very useful to start against blue or red. We'll go ahead and smite this over. Auto attack E reset. Path in away from Trundle. Bot lane should be the most gankable too, because they're just, neither one has a dash to dodge my Qs with. Plus Maokai. Maokai is really strong right now. They buffed him mainly to help him as a jungler, but the buffs translated quite well to him in just about every single role. He's a lot more consistent since his E's worse, but his Q and his R are substantially better. So it's a really good trade-off since the E was relatively inconsistent as it was. People could just outrun the sapling. Turn off the tiers. There we go. Go ahead and hop over. Turn back on the tiers. They don't cost that much span. You could honestly just leave them on, but there's no need. If you're not fighting something, you should get in the habit of turning it off. And you can turn them on in midair as well. So one of our Q charges is on cooldown, so we don't need to burn this other one on the red buff. We can save it to go over the wall for our Krugs instead. GP will be easy to gank when his flash is on a cooldown, because York can put him in cage and GP can't really get out of that. All GP can do is break my stun with his orange eating. His orange does have an animation to it though, so a decent chunk of my stun will land regardless of how good his reaction time is, which will help York land his cage. So we did about a 3-minute 20 clear here with leash. Fairly standard on Amumu, 320 to 328. Max that E first. Obviously their jungler's going to be topside because 19 out of 20 times. Junglers iron through gold. They're going to start bot side, clear upwards. We get a free scuttle on Amumu. Imagine that. Amumu getting a scuttle crab. He's not the type of champion who's going to win a scuttle fight. So Trundle's crossing over. I guess we could fight him with Maokai. Yeah, we'll just fight it. Auto attack E. I'm going to ignite him early. Maokai ignited him when I already had my ignite on. That's one thing I don't like about taking too many ignites. My Q's on cooldown here, but Maokai should be able to wrangle him. We got red buff slows on him. W's on him. Down he goes. That was beautiful. We used the wall as a way to obscure. Now, if Maokai didn't rotate, that would have been fine. I'm going to go ahead and reset because I'm sitting on a lot of gold. If Maokai didn't rotate, I would have just sat here and recalled because all of our camps were down. Bot lane wasn't gankable, and I'm surely not going to fight Trundle to the death. Even if I am a level up on him, it's not going to make that big of a difference. Here we have enough gold to actually get a Balmy Cinder, which is worth getting over a Dark Seal because we couldn't afford Dark Seal and Balmy. So if we got a Dark Seal, we'd be put in a weird spot to where now we have Ruby Crystals, and Ruby Crystals on their own are pretty useless in the jungle because it doesn't speed up your clear and it's only useful for dives to pad your HP. But having the Balmies is nice. More damage against champions and monsters. Very fun. You didn't get to see the build last game, but on Amumu, you're always going to go Sunfire into Demonic Thornmail. When I say always, I mean like 90% of the time, but after Sunfire, you can go straight for Thornmail or Force of Nature. Depends on the situation, but the majority of the time, Sunfire into Demonic Embrace is the way to go. The enemy bot lane is not gankable while you're farming or moving from camp to camp. Try to look at least on the mini map in the corner of your eye. Stare at it. So we see mid lane's probably gankable because he's up middle. It does look gankable. We see bot lane's under turret if they're not low HP. Yeah, they're not diveable because they're not low HP. We see GP's missing. He's maybe in that general area. Vlad is level 6 now. I don't think this is a great gank. Vex is missing a chunk of HP and she's not level 6. So. And she missed her attack too. Got him with our Q. I don't have Ignite. Oh, Trundle's here as well. Yeah. I knew that was a bad gank. I shouldn't have gone for that. Vex was just way too low. That is very unfortunate. I think Trundle's going for bot side scuttle. Team is struggling a little bit this game. That's all right. We just need to hit level 6 without dying. I think Trundle's going to that scuttle, so... Yeah, he's going right now. You can see him on the minimap crossing over for it. Got him. Oh, we missed our Q. I don't think he saw us is what happened. So he didn't walk away like you would expect him to. Get him with our E. Down he goes. Trundle is in the area. I have my R. I don't have mana to actually use it. Maiden chunks. Maiden's like having an AD carry there, especially in the early game. So he decides he doesn't want to fight. I'm going to go straight for my blue buff. My R is up, so I do not want to recall. Now would be a very bad time to do so. And yeah, I shouldn't have ganked mid. Vex just needed to recall. She's missing too much health. Vlad was 6. He's going to keep poking her down. It was a bad call on my part to gank that. I knew it was kind of high risk, and I did it anyways. We are level 6 pre 7 minute 30. That's a great time to be making it. As a jungler in general, regardless of your champion, 7 minute 30 is respectable. You only hit it before 7 minute 30 if you're soaking minion waves after successful ganks. So if you soak 2 or more minion waves, you can usually hit it pre 6 minute 50. If you soak 3 or more minion waves, you can usually hit it pre 6 minute mark. So just depends on how much you're leeching, I suppose. I'm going to take this real quick and smite it. GP's pushing a big wave, and then I'll go top. So yeah, we'll be there in a second. I'm going to hold on to my Q charge. I want to be able to have that for this. If you hug the wall, you can go past the scuttle and it can't see you. That little vision can't see us on this side of it. If you went on the other side, it would though. Fun fact. I don't think this guy has flash. I didn't burn R because I was already on top and I had a second Q charge. I am going to leech XP here. Help him shove the wave, let him get more plates. Make sure your teammates get the last hits though in general. So yeah, if you're already on top of someone and you have plenty of space to chase, there's no reason to blow R. Now, if your teammates, if there's an ulterior reason, like your teammate's about to die to them, or this or that, then you can make the excuse. But if there's no good reason to burn your R and you've already closed the distance, why would you burn your R? So we didn't burn R there. Now, if RQ missed him and hit one of his minions, which is actually what I was kind of planning on, I threw it to where even if he juked it, it would hit something and it would pull me to that location, and then I could whip him with an R. So in that case, obviously using R would be fine. I would need to put some CC on him so we could secure a kill. Vlad's going to be the biggest issue on their team. I'm going to have to force his blood pool really early, like I've been doing, and then I can hit him with an R right as he comes out, and hopefully my team will focus him. So that's the plan, at least. I should have gone to Raptors there. That was a mispathing. I missed out on that full 5 minions of XP. You can soak XP over the wall if you hug it, the wall, like right in this area. So yeah, that was bad pathing on my part. I was wanting to do a linear, like full clear up. We still have R, haven't really had a chance to use it. Looking at Vex, she's out of mana. I can't gank for that. Vlad's full HP. It's ungankable. It is actually untouchable. Trundle's in the area too. We can't. Vex needs mana. This is why it's good to mute your teammate. She's probably spam pinging me to gank right now, but all she can do is use one ability, and I don't have enough damage to solo a Vladimir who's doing quite well for himself. 80 CS off 1 death, no TP. That's pretty solid. Nothing to cry about. We can dive top. Whenever you see people underneath their turret on the minimap, you should check to see if they're low and see if it's diveable. He's missing a lot of health. GP doesn't have any armor or HP items, so it's pretty squishy. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. We're gonna blue smite him, run him down, get as close as we can, Q him. We're gonna walk after my R, ignite him. Oh, I really wish York would have followed me there. He has 0 faith. We had our second Q to follow up, and York just was faithless. I let York tank first since he's way healthier than me, and then I followed it up. GP ignited me, assuming he would be able to kill, but I waited for York to take turret aggro. And that's how you do it. After you land a hard CC, like your Q, when there's multiple of them, try to move while they're still CC'd and hit a double R. There we hit it on the Trundle at Q. We walked towards the GP while Trundle was still hard CC from the Q, and then we double blasted them. If we just stood still, we wouldn't have been able to hit the GP as well. And we wouldn't have had as much CC on the Trundle since we waited as we were walking. Against their team, it's a tough call on the boots choices. I'm thinking we push for plated. I don't think we need mercs. It's just Vlad, Soraka mainly. I mean, Trundle has some magic damage on his R, MF some on her E. At the end of the day, they are triple physical damage. And we have tenacity in our runes, so we're not missing out too much. This Soraka slow, potential Soraka snare, MF slow, Vlad slow, Trundle slow on his pillar and Q, and then a GP slow. So really, they don't have that much CC. It's mainly just slows. So we could have even made the argument for Swifties in this case, since their only form of CC is really a slow. Soraka's landing silences on you. That really shouldn't be happening. It really only happens if you're hard CC'd and she drops an E on your face and you can't move in time. Vlad is full item. Vex is not. Oof. I just got Herald as well. I haven't been playing heavy for objectives because my bot lane... I felt like they were losing for a while. Maybe they're starting to come back. I don't really want to gank this guy. I am pretty much just as fed as him though. If not more fed. I don't have Merc treads though. I would like to do this. My bot lane has wave shoved, and my bot lane's more fed than the enemy bot lane. This feels like a good time since R is up. If our R was on cooldown, this would make 0 sense. R's up. We have more kills than them. Our bot lane has more CS, but more importantly, gold spent. The numbers only matter so much if your teammates aren't spending their gold. Like last game, we were sitting on a bunch of gold only because we were super far ahead, and we could get away with it while still holding the map as we pleased. Need to save this turret. You don't want to give up a turret like that. It gives a lot of vision and pressure. It's hard for them to break turret without minions because it takes giga reduced damage. So if you can keep it alive, it makes it a lot easier on yourself. Oh, I landed it. Cool. Got him with the blue smite. Didn't take much damage from that at all. He doesn't have any penetration, no Sork shoes, just plain free boots. We get another point in our queue. Look for the bot lane dive. Once you're a full item, you can start to do lots of dives on Amumu. You're super tanky. Hit him with a double stun. Oh, it's warded. These guys are freaking warding everything. Trundle, no complete item. Still probably can't solo him though. Later, guys. So tempted to take that jump, but no one can follow me up, so it'd be really pointless to do that. He's going to be on his blue buff / bot side. We'll push for our red buff. We'll just take it over the wall. Yorick has Eclipse. That is weird. I have seen a lot more champions taking Eclipse lately. Still, seeing that on Yorick is strange. I'll have to check if that's meta after this game. Kind of curious now. R is up. Would like to gank. You can come from bushes. These can be good opportunities to just queue out. These guys are kind of screwed. Oh, I say that. I still have my second Q. We're gonna walk her down. She's panicking. We're gonna walk, then we're gonna R. We get the double. Got Ignite on this guy. Got him with E. I'm going to keep tanking for my teammates. I'll let Vex walk out, and then we're chilling. Always walk after you land your Q, especially when your R's up. You need to get that extra distance to land double or triple R's. And you can tell when a player's going to juke themselves to death. They're so fancy. It's like, and then you catch up because they're essentially not moving forward. They're just moving erratically in place. And yeah. And if they don't juke, you'll be able to land your Q. If they are juking, you just walk them down. It's that simple. You need to allow for a window of time to feel them out, understand what the best course of action is. She made it clear very early that she was committed to the juke. And yeah. So when you're gonna figure out whether you should juke or not, you need to know if you're faster than them. We both have tier 2 boots, so juking, I don't know if she should have done that. I probably have higher base movement speed at 335 over a Soraka. Most melee champions in general have higher base movement speed than ranged champions. That's how they partly balance the game. Like the slowest champions in the game are all ranged. The fastest champions in the game are melee, if that makes sense. Like Soraka's base movement speed is, oh wait, where is she? It is 325. Yeah, my base movement speed is 335, so I was moving 10 movement speed faster than her. I was going to be able to run her down over a long enough distance, and I think I was already in range to Q. I was just trying to get closer, and then she just made the jukes really easy for us. Close that distance even faster. R is up. We should look for something here. Vlad's going in deep. I queued early to try to save Caitlyn. I felt like my Q could have saved her life there. Oh, this is horrible. I got to get out. I mean, I really don't want to have to build heal cut this early. I might have to, though. Soraka and Vlad are healing like crazy. You don't generally want to get Morello on Amumu. It's usually lean more into Thornmail, so you might have to grab a Thornmail, as awkward as that'll be, versus a Vlad. R's up. Kind of want to stick around. There's nothing to gank, though. Nothing to kill. Kind of annoying. I guess we do have a lot of ignites. Maybe we can delay heal cut. I'm thinking that if I have everything up and my teammates are behind me, we'll just focus Vlad through the Soraka hills. Otherwise, if it's a non-ideal fight, I'll just try to focus Soraka. It'll be interesting. The biggest thing they have going for them is the lethal tempo on Trundle, Vlad scaling MFR. Against champions like MF, you have to keep at least one hard CC up to stop her R, because one MFR wins team fights. It's really nasty. She's probably leading me into Trundle. I don't want to chase this. Even though I could run her down, I think Trundle was over here, and I don't want to get caught out by that. Yeah, he was over here. I knew it. Pinging it out for my teammates. If you use generic blue pings for things they probably see anyways, it's better because they won't blame you for it. The gentle blue pings are gentle. Plus, it doesn't tell them who's doing it, so they won't have an easy person to blame for it. So we just dropped some chill, normal, generic blue pings. Got R up, Trundle, no full item. Soraka, I'd kill her if I knew where more of her teammates were there. I just don't have enough information. Sure enough, Vlad's there. Give me some of that, dude. Don't be stingy. This is a terrible fight. What is Maokai doing? Like, none of us are even there. He just wasted his R. Maybe he's trying to stall for York on Herald. I don't think that was necessary, though. We have way more gold than them at the moment. Let him have it. He should go back on the split. I'm not going to group. So like when it doesn't make sense to team fight, if there's no urgency, don't randomly show up because it encourages your teammates. It's like mob mentality. Even if something's the wrong decision, if you get enough people together, they'll start doing stupid stuff. And that's what would have happened if I stayed there. My teammates will try to fight 4v5 underneath turret, which makes no sense. We need to let York do his thing, pull 2 top. They can't kill him because York's fast as heck, relatively speaking. Yeah, 340 base movement speed's pretty high. Plus he has an AoE slow, the cage, and he can sick Maiden on them if they try to chase. He's got a couple tools to get away. We're chilling for now. We're scaling up. There's no urgency to really end this game. We're already 2 dragons deep. We can play for Drag Soul. And now if you're losing dragons, then you're going to have to show up to the dragon fights eventually and fight for it. If you lose Drag Soul, even on a champion like Amumu in the late game, it's going to be incredibly difficult to win. They've made dragons quite a bit stronger the past couple of months. They made each one give individually more. I think they buffed some of the souls as well, such as Wind Soul. I think Wind Soul is one of the best in the game. It's so strong. Incredibly impactful. These guys are very grouped. Soraka out of position. She's playing a flank position as if she's a Blitzcrank or something. Their issue is they don't have a proper engage champ. Who's going to engage for them? GP, Trundle, Soraka? They need something to set up MF. They don't have it. They needed like a Maokai top or an Ornn top for the MFR. But they don't have anything for MF to land her R. And they're going to be really sad. I'm going to smite that to heal. Try to get him over the wall. Couldn't. I think Trundle R'd me, so he's still in my stats. Pop him with my own R. I'm not going to ignite him. Figured my teammate would do that. Plus, he was singled out. Nice. Maokai. Oh, he lived. Caitlyn Hill OP. It's a decent Herald. We'll pop him with Q. Got him with Ignite as well. I don't want to die for it. I think I died for it. Oh my god. Can't believe I actually died from that. Man, that wasn't really worth it. I just gave him 1,000 gold from that one death. We definitely shouldn't stay to try to end. We can't end. Even if we get 2 turrets, the team's going to end up throwing shutdown gold if they stay. It's a thing. Shutdown gold's just so big. Caitlyn dies, they get nearly 1,000 gold. Look at 950. Alright, we gotta go for Demonic, and their team has so much freaking healing, and my team doesn't have any heal cut other than Ignites, so I'm kind of forced to go for a Bramble, I guess. I really don't want to. I would much rather get a Force of Nature to deal with Vladimir, since he's doing most of the damage to me, but what am I gonna do? I gotta get some heal cut. If Vlad ends up going in and Soraka's behind him, if we don't have Ignites for the Vlad, there will be no way to kill him. He'll heal so much. Demonic's gonna give us some really solid damage. The Trundle's building HP. Vladimir gets a lot of HP for free from his passive. He has more HP than me, and look at his build. His 1 HP item, like not counting these 2 that don't really count. Those little cheap gold items. I have like 2 legitimate HP items, and he has more HP than me. It's disgusting. Vlad has one of the best scalings in the game. He gets absolutely tanky for free. Only thing that keeps that champion in theory balanced is the fact that he doesn't have any real CC. All he has is a slow. It's not that much. Alright. Should just play for Dragon. Caitlyn's about to die. What is she doing? Yeah, eat on that, Vladimir, you little bunghole. We nearly just killed him. I think it's our super minion's sitting there beating on him so hard. Super's got an absurd amount of AD. Can we please just take Dragon? We don't need to fight here. This is such a bad fight. There's nothing to be gained from it. Even if we kill 2 of them, then what? Like, nothing changes. Getting the Dragon, though, it sets us up for Soul. When a situation involves an immense amount of risk and the gain is so little, it just doesn't make sense to do it. It's a very desperate thing to do. When, in fact, we're the ones who are ahead. Just stay in the vehicle. Don't get out of the car. Some people can't help themselves, though. The best thing you do is just don't engage. Don't stand too close. Try to ping them off in a polite way. Don't drop 10 danger pings directly on top of them, or people take offense to that. It's better to danger ping the enemies than it is your teammates. When you danger ping the enemies, people are a lot more understanding. But if you danger ping your teammates, it's like a yo mama joke. Take it personal. it hits different. Kill dessert. We could actually fight here. MF has a giga wasted R. They're all gonna die for this. Yeah, they're all dead. They thought they had me picked when in fact I had them picked. And that's the game. Game's over. Vlad's over there trying to solo York. Good luck with that, my guy. Good luck. That was a lot of fun. It's a good part 2. Well-rounded game. It's close early on. We'll take a look at damage dealt, damage taken. Fun game. I have a feeling we're top 3 damage dealt and top 3 damage taken. Let's see. Looking at damage dealt to enemy champions, we actually had the second most in the game, more than Vlad. I'm really surprised by that. Looking at damage taken, we had taken the most on our team, nearly the most in the game. Trundle took the most at 2 more K than us. If you count self-mitigated though, we self-mitigated 5K more than Trundle, so counting self-mitigated, we took the most in the game, and we dealt the second most in the game. Really solid. Good value out of Conquer. It doesn't show the extra damage it helped you deal, only this total healing. So at first glance, it looks like it didn't do much, when in reality, it did much more than this. This is probably only roughly a 1/6 of what it helped with. Yeah, really high value out of the runes. If you guys enjoyed this Amumu jungle guide, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to hack the algorithm. My name is King Sticks. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.